Have you ever thought about what if? Like, what if you did this instead of that? You know, those times you can't sleep because you're thinking about things you wish you could change. We've all been there. It's like wishing we could go back and pick a different path. What if there was a place where you could actually do that? What if there was a library where every book was a different version of your life? That's the super cool idea in a book called The Midnight Library by Haig. This book isn't just a story. It's like a journey about wishing things were different, having hope, and the power of making choices. It's really relatable for young people who feel pressure to be perfect and are scared of messing up. The book reminds us that nobody's life is perfect, and everyone goes through tough times. The main character is Nora Seed, a young woman who feels like she's failed at everything. She's so sad and disappointed in herself that she wants to give up on life. But instead of things ending, she finds herself in the mysterious Midnight Library. Okay, picture this. A library that's totally different from any you've ever seen. There are tons of books, and each one is like a portal to a different life you could have lived. This is the Midnight Library, a place between being alive and being gone. It's run by Mrs. Elm, who was Nora's librarian when she was little. Mrs. Elm tells Nora that each book is a chance to try out a different version of herself, a different path she could have chosen. Nora really wants to find the perfect life, so she starts reading all these books and living these different lives. She gets to be an Olympic swimmer, a famous rock star, a wife, and a mom. Every life is a wild ride with new adventures, new people, and new feelings. Nora hopes that by trying all these lives, she'll find one that makes her forget all the things she wishes she'd done differently. But the Midnight Library isn't about finding a perfect life. It's about realizing that there's no such thing. As Nora explores all these different realities, she starts to understand that happiness isn't like a finish line you cross. It's about finding things that make your life meaningful, no matter what happens. This book has a really important message for young people who are trying to figure out life. It reminds us that our mistakes don't define us. Our choices do. Life isn't about being successful or happy in some perfect way. It's about figuring out what really matters to us and enjoying the journey, even when things aren't perfect. The book talks a lot about wishing we could change the past and getting second chances, which is something we can all relate to, especially since it feels like everyone's trying to be perfect these days. It teaches us to be kind to ourselves and reminds us that it's okay to mess up sometimes. What's important is that we learn from our mistakes and keep going. The Midnight Library reminds us that we're the ones in charge of writing our own stories. We get to choose what paths we take, we can change our stories, and we can find meaning and purpose even when things are tough. Before we continue, if you're enjoying the content, hit like and subscribe for more insightful summaries. Nora doesn't just read about these different lives, she actually lives them. She feels all the good stuff, the bad stuff, and everything in between. In one life, she's a famous scientist who studies glaciers, and her work takes her to the amazing landscapes of Antarctica. In another life, she's a beekeeper, finding peace and quiet in nature. Each life has its own challenges and rewards, and Nora has to face her biggest fears and figure out what she really wants. She starts to see that the things she regrets aren't just about the things she didn't do, but also about the person she thought she should be. As she goes through all these different lives, she realizes that happiness isn't a set thing you find, it's more like a feeling that comes and goes. It's about finding joy and meaning in this moment, no matter what's happening around you. Through all of Nora's experiences, the author shows us how the choices we make and how we see things are connected. He shows how even small decisions can have big consequences, shaping our lives in ways we never expected. Even more importantly, he shows how the way we see things can change our whole reality. Things that Nora thought were failures or missed chances in one life actually helped her grow and find happiness in another life. She learns that there's no right or wrong path, just different versions of ourselves waiting to be discovered. The Midnight Library is like a symbol of all the amazing possibilities that life has to offer. It reminds us that we're not stuck in our past mistakes or regrets. We always have the power to choose a different path, to see things differently, and to create a life that matches our dreams. This book is all about how strong the human spirit is and how much we all want to find meaning and connection in the world. It encourages us to be open to new things, to try things that make us a little scared, and to live a life that feels true to who we are. When Nora's journey through the Midnight Library ends, she goes back to her own life, but she's not the same. She's learned so much from living all those different lives. She understands that happiness isn't a destination. It's a journey of discovering who you are and growing as a person. The Midnight Library isn't just a place for second chances. It's a reminder that every moment is a chance to start fresh. It's like a call to action, telling us to live our lives on purpose, to appreciate the beauty in things that aren't perfect, and to make choices that feel right to us. We reached the end, but before you leave, let us know in the comments if you are going to read the book. Also join our community of passionate readers by simply subscribing to our channel, where your love for knowledge and great stories truly matters.